WPTV.
Welcome back to the desk. The sun has come out to play, and so have we. Here to break down the latest from Jeff Alvey's field, we have Anthony, Jimmy, Andrew, and John. Baseball is back, and I love to see it. Last year was a great year for the Pioneers team. We lost in the NJAC final. I know it was a tough loss. We lost a doubleheader to Robyn, but we were in the game. It doesn't matter, Anthony. Do you think we could run it back?
Samory, fire me up, baby. We're going to take a look at the Pioneers stack from last season, and they had a great season last year. You got to look at the record, 27-8 in the NJAC. They are 14-4. They had 323 with 26 home runs and an on base of 425. Something I want to look out for, though. Obviously, they lost to Robyn in the finals. They had some bugaboos against them, and they had 3 losses to Kane. They got to take care of business against them. One thing I'm looking for, they destroyed NJC last year, and I mean they absolutely tattooed them. Get this stat: 7 games they played against them. You want to know what they outscored them by? 100-26.
Can you say that again?
100-26, as in that is, I'm not a math major, 74-run difference. They got to take care of business against them this year.
Jimmy?
I'm looking forward to them to see how they do in conference play. Rowan's going to be a thorn in their side. But you got guys like Yell and Kit Tangs, Habib behind the dish. It's going to be fun to see what they can do in conference play. I call him Darmany Rivas. He's going to take another step up this year. It's going to be really exciting. I think if they can just stay within themselves, hit consistently, got a bunch of key transfers we'll talk about in a little bit. It's going to be a fun season for the baseball team.
Andrew?
Yeah, the Pioneers kind of dominated in the NJAC last year. I mean, 3 losses to Kane out of their 4. But in the NJAC, they led the NJAC in hits, doubles, triples, homers, and they were second in like every single pitching category. I think we're going to see a really good season this year.
John?
Everybody here is right, and I'm going to continue to be right. I'm sticking with Jimmy on this one as well. So Dormani is going to be very important for these Rowan and Kane games because half our losses were to Rowan last year. So I think if we save our best pitching, we have an easy chance at it.
And speaking of pitchers, I think 2 of the best pitchers we had, we're going to talk about Ian Metzger and Darmany Rivas. Now, Rivas had a standout year last year, and then Ian Metzger going back to 2020 before COVID hit, he didn't give up a run in 2020. I know you remember that, Anthony. But it's going to be really, really interesting, Jimmy. Let's take a look at Metzger's stats. What do you think about Ian Metzger, Jimmy?
I just brought up Rivas. I'm going to show some love to Ian Metzger. Let's take a little look at his stats from last season. Very efficient, 3-0 win-loss record. If you're not an analytic guy or not, the ERA backs it up. A 1 ERA in 18 innings, 18 strikeouts. I don't have to be a math major. That's 1 strikeout per inning, only 5 walks. He's got good control. He's going to look for more innings this season, play a bigger role.
Anthony?
Yeah, he killed it his rookie year before injuries. And then, he only pitched 18 innings because he had some hiccups there with some injuries here and there. He did come back last year. He pitched 4 2/3 innings. He wasn't at his best, though. He allowed 4 earned runs and allowed 9 hits. But that's normal. That's going to happen when you come back from a long-term injury. But if he's back to his 2020 form and he's healthy, watch out for Ian Metzger.
Now, we heard about Metzger from this side. Let's hear about Rivas from this side, Andrew. What are your thoughts on Darmany Rivas?
Yeah, Darmany Rivas, he had a phenomenal season last season. We'll take a look at his stats here. He was 8-1 last season, and he had a 2.93 ERA, a 1.13 WHIP. He pitched 58 innings and had 57 strikeouts, averaging pretty much a strikeout an inning. Only allowed 42 hits. He had a great season last year. He's going to do really good this year.
John?
I totally agree. I have some additional stats here. He had a 1.13 WHIP. And then last year he was the only one to win against Kane on March 13th. So I'm sticking with Dormani here. Sorry, I almost messed up his name.
It's all right.
But he's going to have a phenomenal season this year just like he did last year.
And speaking of this year, with a new season coming, we always see new recruits. We always get a new freshman class as well. So, John, we're going to go to you. Who are you most looking forward to see this season as a recruit for the Pioneers?
I'm going to go with Justin Grippo. He comes from Ramapo, and we can pull up his stats right now. So last year, he's a senior this year. His batting average was 317, 7 stolen bases, 6 innings pitched, and 5 strikeouts recorded. But prior to William Patterson, he also had a 274 batting average, 13 doubles, 28 RBIs, and 32 scored runs. So what that tells me about him is that he's a very reliable player, and his teammates and coaches can count on him for this upcoming season.
Andrew?
Yeah, no, I'm really excited to see Jake Lutz, the D1 transfer from Wagner. He had a phenomenal rookie season. He batted .242. He started 19 of his 22 games, .377 on base percentage and a .958 fielding percentage. He had 3 errors, and I think he's going to have a good season this year.
Jimmy?
I'm looking forward to seeing Vinny Martin, the UMass transfer. He is a senior. He's got big shoes to fill for Steven DiGirolamo. I think he can fill them. .338 batting average, 30 runs last year. Hit a dinger. 11 extra base hits. The guy can spread it all over the park. I'm looking for him to be a key piece in this Pioneer lineup.
Anthony?
Yeah, let's start out for pitching here. I'm going to go with Danny Castaneda, and we're going to look at his stats right here. 3.55 ERA last season for Arcadia. Look at him with that beautiful red Arcadia ruby mask and that flow. I'm looking forward to seeing that at Jeff Albie's field. Killed it last year. 10 strikeouts, only 2 walks in 12.2 innings pitched. He's going to step up really big. They lost Zach Polzer as he graduated. He should be able to fill those shoes.
Looking forward to what all these recruits can do, and not just the guys that we highlighted, but just every recruit that's going to be on the Pioneers this season. And speaking of the Pioneers, our first game is tomorrow afternoon. Cannot wait for that one. Don't know what the weather's going to be like. Hope it's not too cold for the guys out there because it's not fun to play baseball in cold weather. But Andrew, what are you going to expect from this game tomorrow versus Stevens Institute?
Yeah, I got a feeling it's going to be a cold one tomorrow. Let's take a look at the stats comparing these two teams from last season. Similar records last year, 24-12 for Stevens, 23-6 for William Patterson. Similar batting averages, both over 300 as a team, both over 450 slugging percentage as a team. We have a little bit better pitching-wise, 4.31 ERA for Willie P and 5.36 for Stevens, and about the same errors-wise. I think this is going to be a really good game tomorrow. I think Willie P is going to come out with the win.
Anthony?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. Stevens already has a couple games under their belt. They're 2-0 already this season, so we'll see if they're a little more acclimated, and Pioneers will try to shake off some rust. But I'm looking at Ryan Wool out of Stevens. He's only hitting 200 this year so far, but it's in the early going. Last year he had 333 with a 570 slugging, 6 dingers, senior at 11 town. If you can contain him, you should be good to go.
John?
I trust our batting. I trust everything that we have to do with that. So when it comes to fielding and pitching, that is where we're going to win this game, right? So if we knock down the errors as much as possible and we keep our pitching accurate and consistent, this is a dub on Jeff Albie's field tomorrow.
Jimmy, close us out for the block.
Well, you know, as a baseball player for most of my life, I know first games of the season, these are tune-up games. The lineup's going to be different at the end of the year. Execution's going to be different. Small ball's going to be key, especially in a colder game. Maybe some bunts, some steals. If you can make the key plays, hold back on some errors, throw strikes if you're the pitching, and just simply get on base, do the little things right in your first game of the season. That's how you get momentum rolling for the rest of your season.
Well, we are definitely looking forward to that one. Anthony, I hope you stay warm tomorrow afternoon. Hope you and our director, Steve Mulder, stay warm because it's going to be A-okay. But before we go on with this block, we would love to give a shout-out to our swim team who is in the Metropolitan Championships. We wish the best of luck to you guys, and hopefully you guys can bring it home. But let's get up out of the sun and let's get back onto the hardwood where we'll chop it up with the NBA crew as they break down the latest from the trade deadline. Don't go anywhere here on WP Sports Desk.